Welcome along to episode 820 of the Mill Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we'll be finding out about Warhorse from one of the actor puppeteers, Michael Larcombe, as we hear about his part in the show. It's at the Grand from the 11th through to the 22nd of March. Absolutely well worth seeing. We'll be hearing from Walsall Operatic about their 70th anniversary concert. Rod Bissett from the wonderful Grange Players lets us know about their latest production, The Girl on the Train. Carl Williams of KAW Boxing will be along to let us know about the work that they're doing and getting kids into sport across the city of Wolverhampton. And also, we'll be finding out about people are moving enough in the city of Wolverhampton. Sport England letting us know about a programme that's going to help get people on their feet. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now, with Warhorse at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre from the 11th through to the 22nd of March, it is going to be an amazing chance to see the wonderful work of Michael Walpurgo brought to the stage by the National Theatre with puppets from the Handspring Puppet Company. Michael Larcombe is one of those gents who is operating the puppets, who joins me now. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How is the tour going? Because it must be amazing to be out on the road with this wonderful story.
It's honestly really fantastic. I mean, we're about 8 months in now, I think, to the contract. Um, yeah, it's really wonderful. I mean, just getting to tour the country to begin with is amazing, but to get to do it with such a special show is just really fantastic. Getting to bring it to loads of different audiences around the country, yeah, it's really great.
And tell us about your involvement in Joey, the horse in Warhorse.
Ah, yes, of course. So I'm one of four teams of puppeteers, and we all puppeteer Joey throughout the week. So we all have two shows each. I am personally the hind puppeteer, so I'm responsible for the back legs and the tail of the puppet. Um, and yeah, so we have a head puppeteer, a heart puppeteer, and a hind puppeteer. The head, obviously, of course, controls the head, isn't responsible for, um, you know, sort of do sorting. Oh, so, is responsible for the emotional indicators of the horse. So you can kind of see that it control the ears, controls where it's looking, and a lot of the blowing and snorting of the horses. The heart puppeteer is responsible for the breath. So breath is a big principle in puppetry, especially with Handspring Puppet Company. Um, so yeah, that really brings the horse alive, the heart puppeteer, and obviously is responsible for the front legs as well. And then yeah, I'm responsible for the back legs. And yeah, so my responsibility is I'm the engine of the horse, so I kind of drive a lot of the powerful moves, um, especially when we're galloping and
Mhm.
trotting around the stage, stuff like that. And then I've got these two brake cables and like brake sort of handles that control the tail, and that is responsible for showing the emotions and condition of the horse. If
Mhm.
he's irritated, it might be swishing a lot more, or if it's ill or sick and things like that. A lot of that is shown through the use of the tail and things. Yeah.
Yeah, so a huge amount of personality for every puppeteer involved, and having to work
Mhm.
together as a close team. And I think as well the fact you're recreating a time more than 100 years ago now, in
Mhm.
the First World War, where horses were such an important part of the battle when it came down to the sides warring in that time. And I think
Yeah.
it's a huge sort of undertaking to bring this to the stage, and one which is audiences are going to adore because of the level of work they know goes into making a show like this.
Yeah, no, definitely 100%. And a lot of people say, you might notice the puppeteers to begin with in the first few minutes, but after a couple of minutes, they just melt away and you're just watching this horse come alive on stage. So that's definitely a big selling point, I think, and something that audiences find really magical.
Mhm.
Just these horses coming alive.
What
Yeah.
first brought you to puppetry, though?
So I initially trained in musical theatre, so I didn't have a background in puppetry at all. And then about 6 years ago, I got cast in a musical based off the film Madagascar. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
seen the DreamWorks animation.
Yes.
Uh, and yeah, so there was a lot of puppetry in that. So it was a musical, but they used puppets to represent all the different animals and things. So that was kind of my introduction to puppetry. And then since then, I've done a couple of other jobs that have kind of boosted that skill set. Um, What I find amazing about puppetry is that like every puppet's different. Yeah, that you have the principles of like breathing and weight and things like that, but actually getting your hands on a new puppet is really amazing because you just getting to really get used to that individual puppet and get to work its individual workings and things. So it's really special getting to find out your relationship with the puppet.
Yeah, well, your acting background is essential because I mean you are acting either through the puppet or through the
Yeah,
movements that the puppet reflects you making. So it
yeah,
is a standard full acting job, even if the whole time you're wearing clothing, which means we don't see you.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
even as you speak, you're wearing black now. I mean, this is probably you prepping ready to go on for a show.
Well, actually, we depending on the which horse we're puppeteering, we have different coloured costumes. But we for the Joey puppet, we have sort of like a it's like a ginger kind of colour. We have like these like Henleys, which are like little buttoned up long sleeve tops, and then sort of I've got corduroy trousers myself, and I have some. It's sort of this colour. These are some of the gaiters that we wear around our ankles.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just kind of like more period things sort of what we're in. But yeah, we kind of blend in with the colors of the horse, but then I think that helps us then to disappear a little bit more rather than being in a bolder color, I think.
Mm. And obviously, Joey starts his life in rural Devon, finds himself within the trenches around World War I in France, and it sees the tale of Albert, going to find and hopefully return home his beloved horse. And it's a slight spoiler here. I have seen a play of the sequel, so it may or may not work out. We'll leave that there.
I have feet. Well, well,
Hmm. But
okay.
obviously, Michael Morpurgo's work is
Yeah,
loved by
it's
many.
yeah, it is. I mean, he's got loads and loads of books, of course, but and you're starting to see more and more of them adapted into. I think a recent one's been made into a film. I think I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, his work's really beloved by a lot of the nation and beyond. Yeah.
So obviously an amazing tour to be part of. You've said how much you're enjoying your time on the road, and I suppose when you were first, doing your course and getting your skill set honed, you were never expecting to be part of a show like this. So I say it must be amazing to be there.
Yeah, it's really, really, really special. And like never in a million years thought I'd be touring with the National Theatre, but let alone in such an iconic production as this. So yeah,
Mm.
it's really, really special.
And the music brings this to life as well.
Yeah, oh God, we've got a fantastic singer that sort of narrates. She sort of narrates the story and is there the whole time. She plays the accordion as well, which is really fantastic. I know different productions of Warhorse have had different iterations of the singer, and I know the original production had quite a few instruments that kind of were the key to that. But now, yeah, we just have um, one singer, one accordion, maybe a little bit of a harmonica as well. But yeah, the soundtrack that accompanies that as well is just really fantastic. It's really cinematic, like, and there's like underscoring throughout most of the piece, which just really adds to the texture of the drama or the emotions and stuff. So yeah, it's really, really great.
Well, Joey will be making his way to First World War France when Warhorse arrives on stage. Be able to bring him home to Devon. We'll be able to find out how that treacherous journey goes as part of Warhorse, the National Theatre production, touring as we speak, 11th of March through to the 22nd, and an amazing take on Michael Morpurgo's story. Well, for now, Michael Larcombe, break a leg or possibly a horse's leg. I'm not sure how that works. We on the greeting we have to give you.
Break a hoof,
Hoof,
maybe.
hoof, yeah, hoof safe, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And
Break a
we
hoof,
will
yes.
have a brilliant time with the tour, and we look forward to seeing you on stage at the Grand, or not seeing you on stage at the Grand, as the case may
Thank.
be.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, not seeing is the one. Yeah, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
The Grange Players have The Girl on the Train, which is their production running from the 13th through to the 22nd of March. Rod Bissett joins me now to let us know what's in store and what the timetable's looking at for, or even if there's a rail replacement bus service.
No, we are well on track for this one. I'd say rehearsals have been going absolutely fantastically. We've got the tech crew and our backstage crew working super hard for this one. Now things are going absolutely brilliantly for our next production.
How do you recreate a train on stage?
Through very clever lighting and some amazing sound effects that have been put together by the director's son, actually, a chap called Sam Evans, who's done some absolutely amazing work with what he's done.
And this is all part of making the whole thing come to life. So tell us about the cast and where the story starts.
Okay, so the story for those that don't know is it's about a lady called Rachel Watson, who is a recovering alcoholic and recent divorcee, and she takes the same commuter train every day, looking out through the window into other people's houses, and she becomes a bit obsessed with a couple that she calls Jess and Jason.
Hmm.
And then one day Rachel witnesses something and then discovers that the person that she knows as Jess is actually a young lady called Megan Hipwell, and Megan has disappeared. And so Rachel takes it upon herself to sort of investigate this mystery, all the while battling with her own unreliable memory and her own alcohol-fueled blackouts, which can also work against her because they're making her a suspect as well.
An interesting tale, mystery, intrigue, personal problems, and an amazing way of bringing a story to an audience. And I think the way the book is set, it's very much about the train journey itself, isn't it? And
Oh
it
yeah.
then sort of branches out from there to to its conclusion, which is, I think, quite exhilarating, isn't it?
Oh, it's a fantastic little conclusion, and yeah, we've tried to make like the train a character of its own and not just a way of getting us from scene to scene. It's actually fueling the story and giving us like the motivation to carry on and help set like the different scenes, because we've got so many different sets. We've got a number of areas of the stage dedicated to each one, but we still have to set it up, and so we're using our own little train effect to facilitate that.
This is going to be a challenge for all the actors to bring this together, but we know they're going to rise to that. As we say, rehearsals are going wonderfully, and
Mhm.
ticket sales are going well too already. But there's still a chance to get yourself in there.
Oh, absolutely. There always is. I mean, you say like it's a good chance for the actors. I'm going to give a shout out to our backstage crew,
Hmm.
because fun fact, we've actually got more backstage crew than we have actors for this one. Purely because we don't want people waiting around for ages, waiting for the next bit. So our director has been putting them through their paces, making sure everyone knows exactly where they've got to be, what they've got to do. And that's just the people changing the sets. It's been absolutely magic to watch so far.
Well, I think this is going to be somewhat exciting. So, Ed, what is the totals on cast on stage and crew behind the scenes then?
We have one, two, three, four, about 7 people on stage, and at the last count, we did have about 12 people backstage, both helping shift the set, helping with makeup effects, helping with the technical aspect of things. It's very tight backstage, I will say.
And of course, your theatre itself is built for the types of shows that you do as well, which again I think helps make this all the more special, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this one we've really pushed ourselves with our technical side in such a way that we can make sets that where the audience are going to know exactly where we are at a given point, but without them being overly complicated needlessly.
Well, it sounds phenomenal. I know you're going to do an amazing job of it. Break a leg, and we look forward to hearing how people get on watching this one. Tickets are available on 07909 036835 or via ticketsource.co.uk / the Grange Players Ltd. You can grab your tickets there, and yeah, also nip along to your Facebook page and have a look at some behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, absolutely. We're constantly potting on like little behind the scenes photos, fun little tidbits, daft little things that we've been doing just to keep like that interest going. So absolutely, if you're not already following us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and we are now on Blue Sky as well, then give us a follow on all of those platforms.
And of course, then you're thinking towards July next as well.
We are. So we've had to do a bit of a change. So we've still, after the girl on the train, we've still got 2 plays to come. Plus, we are doing a special one-off performance at the Be Fame Festival soon.
Hmm.
So for that, which is happening in April, we're going to be putting on a short Agatha Christie play called The Rats. But then hitting our stage in May, we're going to be doing the cricket-themed comedy Outside Edge.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that's going to be directed by Chris Waters, who's very familiar with the direction side of the Grange.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've done a bit of a change for our July play. Whereas we were going to be doing Alan Bennett's People, unfortunately, a bit of ill health on the director's side has sort of put a kibosh on that one. So instead, our very talented art director, Sarah, has done a bit of changing, and we are now going to be putting on the hilarious Don't Dress for Dinner.
The very talented Sarah Bissett. I'm just going to add that in there, but I know you're not biased.
She's probably overhearing it now, so if I hadn't have said that, then I wouldn't be getting any dinner later.
But we know she's amazing, so you wouldn't have had to dress for dinner then either, would you? You see, that would have been it. So it's going to be awesome. Some great stuff coming up. Grange Players is what you're looking for. What's your website?
So you can find us at thegrangeplayhouse.co.uk. And again, find us on Facebook under that same name. So we're on the Grange Players in Walsall, and you can find all of our ins and outs, our behind the scenes stuff, and how to get tickets throughout.
Oh, Rod, always good to speak to you. Have a brilliant time with the show, and I look forward to speaking to you again just ahead of the next production.
Pleasure as ever. Thanks, Jason.
Core Boxing in Wolverhampton, looked after by Kyle Williams, is doing amazing things, getting kids into the world of sport. And Kyle and one of his proteges joins me now. Hello to both.
How you doing?
Good.
So Kyle, let's have some introductions, not only to your student, but also what you're doing down there at Core Boxing.
So, on the 15th of March, we fight on the Leapfrog TV promotion under Chris Bladen. Massive promotion. We've got about 6 or 7 fighters on from our club. The club's growing very, very well at the moment. We can't complain. Obviously, I've passed over from me fighting as a professional kickboxer and boxer, and now I'm now a coach. And this is one of my young lions, one of many that's fighting on the card.
Okay, so what's your name, please, sir?
Charles.
Hi, Charles. And what's it like getting involved in this sort of thing as well? Because it must be great to experience real sport from somebody who's been a professional for a number of years.
It's really good, ain't it? It's really good.
Excellent. And what sort of stuff are you getting up to, Carl? I mean, what are you working with the kids now?
Listen, I'm very busy, as in coaching the kickboxing, the boxing. I love it. Like, it's a new passion of my life. Boxing for me, for many, many years, was all I devoted my life to. But now I'm devoted to training these kids, giving them a future and changing their lives. We see so much badness in our society that I just want to change that for these kids. I want to see a difference, and seeing these kids grow and inspire to be the best they can be, that is the best and the most important thing for me.
Yeah, I'm really rewarding to be part of it. The fact that they're getting not only respect for others based on the world that you bring them in through the world of martial arts, but also the fitness that instills in them too.
Of course, listen, we all want to be fit, strong and well. Not everyone values that, but my boxers that I'm installing that into, they're taking that on board, and they're really relishing from that, from what we do. So I can't be more proud of them. And this little lad here has came into my gym, didn't believe in himself at times, but he's now starting to realise how good he can be.
So what sort of training do you get to do, Charles?
Pad work, lots of things. Pad work, jogging.
Yeah, and how old are you now?
8.
And how long have you been doing this?
A couple of months, like 2 months, 3 months.
And that's been a good start for you. And obviously, do you want to go into boxing as you get older?
Yeah.
So you want to emulate what Carl's been doing and how well he's performed in his sport?
Yeah.
Brilliant. You see, Carl, you're now officially an inspiration, which is the way we like it.
Hey, listen, we're Wolverhampton people,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to put Wolverhampton on the map. And I believe this boy, I've got a little girl as well called Aaliyah that she's boxing, and I've got a few others. I've got a lad that's fighting for a British title. I believe that we can achieve something great from core boxing.
Well, I mean, we wish you every success. So tell us about where you are and how people can get involved if it's something that might be right for them, you and their families.
So we're Unit 7, Fallings Park and Industrial Estate, Park Lane. You get 2 free sessions with me. I'll look after you. You can come trade out, and you can come and realise your potential like this little young man here.
And what sort of age groups are you working with? Because it's not just open to kids, is it?
No, kids, adults. You know, it doesn't matter whether we start from the age of 4 all the way up to senior years. But like I says, this little 8-year-old kid here on my left-hand shoulder is going to be something special. And all I want to do is make people realise their potential in themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's about, finding yourself as well. And I think that's another good part of it. You actually get to experience team play and also know what you need to do to do the right thing.
Listen, as a coach, you learn a lot about yourself. It's not how great you go. It's about how great you can make someone go.
Yeah, and I know that you've done brilliant work down there. And I mean, when we last had you in the studio for an event, it was just about 12 months ago. I know you're excited about the opening of the site and the fact you've been able to expand to where you are now. So, I mean, that's all good news. And again, it's your hard work that's put this there.
Yeah, listen, I don't put attention on myself. It's not about me. It's about what we develop, and it's about the kids. It's about what we produce. I don't care about myself.
Well, give us all the details on where people can find out more, and then also book a place.
Core Boxing UK on Facebook, Core Boxing UK, Core Boxing on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We're about, and listen, like I said, you get 2 free sessions, and we're here to help
and find out whether it's right for you. Well, Carl, good to speak to you. Charles, nice to meet you. You keep up the good work in the gym, and meanwhile, I know Carl will continue to be an inspiration as the rest of the team are down there too. From Core Boxing, Carl, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now, inactivity is a time bomb which could affect us when it comes to our health. It's vitally important that we keep ourselves moving, get the blood flowing, and that can keep us healthier as we head through life. Somebody who knows what we need to do here is Executive Director for Placefit Sport England, Lisa Dodmain. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason.
Now, it's a concern because we're seeing kids in 53 deprived areas who need this boost to their health and well-being, and that includes the Black Country and the West Midlands, doesn't it?
Absolutely. We're taking a place-based approach. What we've found is that not everybody across the country has the same chances to be active. We want to change that. Your life, where you live, should not dictate how long you live, but actually that's what we're finding. So, for example, lifespan can vary for up to 9 years depending on where you live. So we want to invest in the top 10% of areas across the country. You mentioned 53 places, of which the active Black Country and the West Midlands are some of those. But those places are in the top 10% for inactivity, health inequality, social need and deprivation.
Yeah, and we're looking here at Wolverhampton being on the list, and Walsall, Stoke-on-Trent, Sandwell and Dudley as being identified as one of those 53 areas which are of particular concern.
Absolutely. So we started this work about 7 years ago. So we had something called local delivery pilots. So we work particularly in Birmingham and in Solihull to understand this community-based approach. So what we want to do now is work through our active partnership in Active Black Country to invest national lottery funding up to £250 million over 5 years to specifically target and break down the barriers that those communities in those areas that you mentioned are facing.
So what can we expect to see here in Wolverhampton?
So what you can expect to see here is working very much with the community. So Active Black Country will be going out, working with locally trusted organisations, community groups, to first of all listen and understand some of the challenges that they're facing in getting active. We know for some people in those areas, they're more, they're worried about putting a meal on the sustainable for the children. So actually what we've got to think about is understanding the barriers that they're facing, be it cost, be it transport links, and then start to work together a plan to co-create that with the community to give them the opportunities and the activities and maybe facilities to be active.
And are we aiming at kids here, or is it the whole wide range of age groups?
It's a whole range from cradle to grave, as we say. So what we've found is actually people's inactivity levels in those areas are probably circa 35% against the national average of 20% in the more wealthier areas. So they've got a real challenge. But we also know that every pound we spend on sport or physical activity, 20 back to the local economy. So we know it also saves money for the NHS. So we know that people who have got a healthy lifestyle saves £10.5 billion a year for the care system. So if we can get more people to be active, it prevents them getting chronic illnesses and it reduces the use of the health services.
So that £4.20 impact on our environment for every pound you spend is huge. And it just means that the sort of totals that you're looking at here are going to be absolutely massive for the economy, but most of all, amazing for the people who live here.
Absolutely. It's a win-win. We talk about physical activity being the magic pill, and it really is.
What sort of activity are we looking at, and what sort of time are people needing to put to this to be able to get themselves into a better position with their health?
Okay, so we won't prescribe the type of activity. As I said before, this is very much about what the local community needs. So we will work with those local community groups to understand what that need is and then make sure that the right activity is put on. But actually, I think wider than that, this is not just about, the sport physical activity services. This is wider. So, let's think about how we connect up local parts of that place. So, for example, if somebody can't get a local transport to go and visit a facility or a local park, how can we influence the transport colleagues to think about active travel, think about the designing of those places? So we're actually not just putting on short-term 12-week programs which then stop. This is about changing the system for the long term to give people that opportunity to be active and ultimately just move more.
And particularly, we're looking here that there are more women who are disadvantaged people from the Black and Asian communities are disadvantaged. So we need to make sure that we're getting equality across the board, and an equality which also pushes up everybody's quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. This is about doing the right thing for the right people within those local organisations and local communities.
So can community organisations apply for funding here? How does it work?
So the way that it'll work is we'll work with Active Black Country, and Active Black Country will then look at a range of opportunity for them. So, for example, some of the things we might fund are capital projects or buildings or refurbishments, but some of the other things will be interventions. So if we know that they might need a walking group or a running group, we'll start work with Active Black Country to make sure that we've got the investment going into the right places and it's what the community needs. And we've seen that across the country. We've seen where this is working. So we've seen that where we've got active madrasas, for example, we've seen where people have embedded active design into housing plans. So when you live on a housing estate, do we make it easy to be active or do we make it really difficult? So it's working alongside everybody that it's easy to ride your bike and it feels safe.
And of course, there's brilliant work going on with the Wolverhampton Wrestling Club. They're promoting kabaddi ahead of the 2025 Kabaddi World Cup. So it has more of an impact too. I mean, people may not know enough about the sport of kabaddi at the moment. They find out, they may suddenly become addicted to at least watching it, if not taking part. And that sort of thing inspires.
Absolutely does. We always see, the nation gets behind big sporting events, when we see them on the TV. How do we know that the next future kabaddi world champion is not actually in your patch?
Oh, I'd like to think they may well be. Wolverhampton Wrestling Club will help them get to the fore. But even down the road in Walsall, you've got something like Simple Steps, cycling, walking and mental health support, predominantly for Asian women here. It's again that balance and making sure we've got something which is accessible to all parts of our community and in such a way as they may have not so much been excluded, just not had an opportunity. So it's putting those opportunities there.
Absolutely, but it's working with them. So we're not going to prescribe what it is we think they need. They know what they need. So we work with them for them to understand what opportunities will work for them, and then we work to make them a reality.
So they're quite frightening inactivity rate in Wolverhampton of 35.3%. That's how many adults are not getting the exercise they need. And what sort of triggers that? I mean, what point of inactivity are we looking at? Less than 10 minutes a day, or how does it work?
So the guidelines for an adult, the guidelines from the Chief Medical Officer are 150 minutes a week. But actually, let's just start by something really small. If you remember during the pandemic, what did most people do? They went for a walk. because that was the only thing that you were allowed to do. So it's starting in a really, really simple way, building things up that it fits in within their lifestyle, and then it just becomes a habit.
Yeah, so whether you fancy a wander around West Park and do that as a bit of speed walking if you can, or whether there's another type of activity, whether it's cycling to work, that sort of thing, all this can add up to give you a better, healthier life and a longer life too, which is what counts.
Absolutely. And why would you not want to do that?
Yeah, it's about quality though, isn't it too? And whereas people tend to live longer these days, you actually want the quality right the way through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And being active gives you that quality of life.
So where can we go for more information about the programme itself?
Okay, so I direct people to the Active Black Country's website, where all the information is on there, or Sport England's website. But as I said, we'll be working through the Active Black Country for them to work alongside the local communities there.
But take a look and see the rest of the great work that's been done by Sport England and see how you can support.
Absolutely.
Executive Director for Place at Sport England, Lisa Dodd-Main, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
As part of celebrating their 70th birthday, Walsall Operatic Society at the Hub at St Mary's from the 12th through to the 15th of March. They've got very limited tickets left, but it's going to be an amazing night for all. I've got three at the number here now. Hello, gang.
Hello.
All right, I'll let you introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the company. I think it's probably the best bet.
I'm Sue. I'm the chair and general dog's body.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yeah.
I'm Adam. I sing and do a bit of acting when it's called
stuff.
upon. Yeah.
I'm Jane, so I am the treasurer and the vice chair, and it's probably fair to say I've been a member 45 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really.
And Adam's been a member 70, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's just got a really interesting painting in the loft.
You're just aging better than me.
So it's going to be fun, and this is really is a proper celebration because some of your highlights are featured in this, aren't they? Yes. Including, I know, Sweeney Todd, which was amazing when you put that on.
Yeah.
Yes, so we've got Sweeney Todd, we've got Calamity Jane, which is one of the older ones, we've got Pirates of Penzance, which is obviously one of our much older ones. We've got stuff from our forthcoming production of Hairspray too.
So it's going to be a rehearsal in some ways, and the best of in others. So,
yes.
So we like that.
Yes.
Adam, what are you singing that stands out for you?
So I'm very lucky. I'm doing a couple of songs that we don't get to do productions of, but we have done in previous concerts. So I'm doing a bit of Boubel and Schönberg. I'm doing Oui Doy. And I'm also doing the Jean Valjean part in One Day More, which is
cool.
our finale, as well as a bit of Curly from Oklahoma, which is a show we've done lots as well. So.
That's all good. What do you reckon? What's going on with you, Jane?
I'm doing Easy Street from Annie.
Oh, that's good. You're playing Annie in that.
Well, I wish I was. I've never played Annie, but I have played Miss Hannigan.
Okay.
And then I'm doing Nobody, which is from a show we did a while back called Betty Blue Eyes. Mm-hmm. And this was made famous by Sarah Lancashire, so that's a good number. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
But a company like this, it's important that the age is celebrated. The fact that this is ongoing. I mean, many of the companies like this all started out in those post-war years. This is a decade on since the end of World War II. Things were picking up. People were starting to get together, and that's where the camaraderie that brought places like Walsall Operatic together. And I think that's part of the fun, isn't it?
Mm. Oh, definitely. And I mean, when I joined, there was nothing around like youth groups and things like that, not like there is now. And I was definitely one of the youngest. They didn't really want me or my friend, and they kept saying, well, they'll probably do a show and they'll go, but 45 years later I'm still here. And then we're welcoming lots of newcomers and youngsters, and they're our future.
Mm-hmm. But I suppose, what is it, the 80s you joined then, or was it like late 70s?
It was 1980.
1980, so...
now you know how old I am.
This is how young you are. But, I mean, it is an interesting way the sort of shows that are available to Amdram groups have changed over that time.
Oh, totally. I mean, what we get to do now compared to what I started with. My first show was The Desert Song. And that was it. It was a great show. I remember it like it was yesterday. Sticks in my mind. Then it went on to kind of the Gondoliers, White Horse Inn. But you don't kind of see those now.
No, but there is so much the great new stuff which becomes available. I mean, to be able to do Hairspray, that's brilliant. I mean, it's still touring.
Yeah. It is, and we've got a lot of new young members and current young members, and I think they're going to have a great time in that.
Mm-hmm. And you're still technically a young member, Adam, aren't you? Though you're getting on a bit now.
Yeah, I think I'm probably a bit old to play most of those parts, but there might be enough.
You're probably no older than the ones in the film, to be fair. But there we go.
Yeah, we do pride ourselves on the fact that we've got a wide age range. We've got from 17 literally to 70 plus.
Yeah.
So we really do pride ourselves on being a sort of a family society that welcomes and you know, uses the talents of all ages.
But there is a brilliant pool of hugely talented people in the area who cross between different groups and are members of several at the same time.
Yes, definitely, and I think that's how we sort of keep going, and I think it's how we keep the interest of the members. I don't think people feel quite so stuck with one group as maybe they used to, and they can do a show with one society and then come back to another society, and I think that's how our interest is maintained.
Yeah, well, I think it's important to having the audition process as well, isn't it? Because that does mean that you're genuinely getting the best person to play the part, rather than some fella who always takes the lead, whatever the show is.
Yes, and perhaps that.
we were looking your way.
Yeah. And perhaps that was the case some years ago, but I think things have moved on an awful lot now, and people do have to pay a lot of money for tickets now, so we need to feel that we're giving the audience the best we possibly can, and I would say that we do.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the values, the venue, it costs money to get to the venue.
Absolutely.
The rights for the shows are absolutely not cheap, even though they're available for amateur groups. They're not cheap, and they do limit the number of people who can play in that area.
Yes, they do. And we really are sort of restrained by those costs. So there are things we'd love to do, but we can't. So yeah, it's a difficult process choosing shows. But I think what's so nice about doing this concert is we can revisit all the shows we have done, the concerts we've done, and that was not an easy process. I can tell you, it took a lot of.
It's what to leave out, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. You know, and it's looking at the talent that we have and matching that with the sort of the songs and stuff that are available. So yeah.
And I think that also presents a lovely opportunity because we get to have a look at all of the talents of our members. You know, so many shows, you know, as much as you want to get everyone involved, there's 5 good parts, 6 good parts, and once you're in there, and then you need a very good ensemble. On this, pretty much everyone's got a little bit of something to sing, everyone gets to show themselves. So.
A bit of a lead somewhere.
Yes. Oh yeah, and that's so important to give everybody an opportunity to sort of to shine at some point. If they want to.
But then they will, that's the thing, because the talent is there, and somebody might enjoy being part of the ensemble and singing purely as part of a choir effectively, but whatever you want to do, there's always an opportunity in the likes of Walsall. So where do people find out about the last few remaining tickets, and of course find out about joining if they want to be part of the team?
If you go onto the website for the hub at St Mary's in Lichfield, then you will see the 16 remaining tickets there, and which
Get in there
you can
quick.
purchase. Yes, and then Walsall Operatic Society have got a website. So just Google that and you'll take you to our website and give you information about our forthcoming show.
And you'll be all over the socials as well.
Absolutely, yes.
And which is the next show? Because we did mention it.
It's Hairspray.
So
that's at the Lichfield Garrick, and that is into September, October this year.
That's only minutes away, isn't it? That will fly by before you know it.
Yeah. So as soon as we finished this concert, our preparations are all underway. Everything's ready. Launch night is the 27th of March here at the Lamp.
So one out the way, and you'll be starting the next one, and people will be auditioning.
Yes.
So if you fancy auditioning, if you want to be part of it, these are the gang to come and join in with. Although Adam obviously is expected to play the Zac Efron role or whatever that is. You want to be leaning like you. Which one are you? More of a Corey?
Don't know yet. We'll see.
Okay, right. We'll see what he goes for. Yeah, he just want competition. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But check out the game. It'll be fantastic. Have a brilliant time. Break a leg, and really enjoy your sort of celebratory show before you get back into the crux of doing everything proper.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 821 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar.